Listen up or run for cover. Dropping knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. The real Brad Lee Bombs is dropping.
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, I've got a real treat for you. I've got Rick Jordan. What's happening, Rick?
What's shaking, my man?
If you guys don't know who he is, you're about to, because he's got a new film coming out, Liberty Lockdown, which is a documentary examining the current state of affairs in America, all the 5G, COVID, all the nonsense. Any child trafficking too?
Brother, that's where a lot of this goes, man, because it's sad because a lot of the last couple of months, trafficking has just gone through the roof. And it's, Vegas is a hot spot, too.
Oh, yeah.
For that. Super Bowl Sunday was like 2,300 kids here went missing. And only 100 and something were found. It's
Really?
just tragic, man. Yeah.
How come nobody says anything about shit like that?
You wish they would. Exactly. Right.
Well, why don't they? Like, you'd think that's headline news. That's a lot of kids missing.
It sure is, man.
Just missing.
Nobody's
seen them. Nobody
seen
knows where they went.
Milk carton now.
When you think about the milk cartons and you go back, you think, man, you see them on the milk cartons, you don't even question it. It's like, oh, poor kid's missing.
Right on.
But nobody follows up. What happened to him?
You got it.
So, dude, I saw the trailer.
Yeah,
for
you
Liberty.
like that?
It's freaking looking. It looks like a badass, kick-ass movie.
Dude, it's meant to inspire emotion, right? I'm just the guy asking questions.
Well, dude, it's a good trailer, dude. If anybody sees that trailer, where can someone see that trailer?
LibertyLockdown.com.
LibertyLockdown.com. Go check out the trailer. No matter what you do, I'm telling you, that is a freaking good trailer. Whoever did that for you,
they're right out of LA, man. It's a good crew out there. I was hit up a couple months ago because I did another documentary on cybercrime. I was one of the experts, right? And we're filming a sequel now. You were asking about child trafficking. I don't want to go on this too much, but I'm filming in 2 weeks in Utah with a child trafficking group, and then we're going to come and do a mission in the tunnels here in Vegas and go rescue some kids.
There's tunnels in Vegas.
There's tunnels in Vegas.
And there's kids down there.
There's kids down there.
Right now. See, now most people think, oh, come on.
Yeah.
But they're there. Well, if we know where they are, how come we're not all down there? Police, everybody.
You got it. That's a great question, too. Law enforcement, it's hard to find these kids.
What do you mean? They're down there.
I know, right? You go down there, but a lot of them are there by will, or they won't cooperate. They won't rat out their pimps. Whoever it is,
Where's these
stuck.
tunnels?
I wish I knew. That's what I'm going to find out in 2 weeks, right?
You going with Ballard?
No, not with Ballard. It's with Cami Bowker and Eros. They're from Adaptive Ops. Mm. They train up people, man, because I've got some background in CIA training and all that stuff, But it's going to be like real spy stuff going on, like learning how to run and shoot with a gun like James Bond, that kind of fun stuff.
Can I go?
Why not?
Dude, I'd go.
We're going to be filming, dude.
Yeah, but I'd go, dude. Like if someone told me, hey, you go down there, there's kids that need rescued, I'd go rescue kids. On. Kids are the big thing for me.
Yeah.
One time I got a DUI, I had to do some community service, and I was in this juvenile center where I had to read microfilm to organize it correctly, and so you had to kind of read the case. And dude, there's some freaking terrible shit going on with kids.
It's rough, man.
I mean, not even missing, just straight abuse.
Yeah, you got it.
It's unbelievable. So what were you doing at the White House?
You heard that, huh? Last week, man, I was there, and it's really cool because the film's about government overreach, right? And there's a lot, of course, elections coming up, and I had an opportunity to go and be the guy that reads the room, right? Because there's some cool AI projects that are going on, artificial intelligence, but they called me up like, can you come in and tell us who's going to try to screw us? And I'm like, all right. This was the company going in to do the government project. I'm like, yeah, I'll go in there and sit. It was pretty fun, man, because we get there and there's 3 security gates. I don't know. Have you ever been? No, there's 3 security gates that you have to go through. And you get this wonderful green badge when you're on the list. I mean, we're right there in the Eisenhower building, right next to the West Wing. I even looked over at the steps because I could have just walked right up the steps up to the West Wing entrance. I saw a Marine there fully decked out in dress uniform as a sentry. It was just badass. I go into the room that's there in the Eisenhower building. It's just beautiful, man. The hallways look like they're straight out of 1850. and you go in and there's nothing but huge wooden, like oak solid tables, all the pictures on canvas, the paintings of former presidents on the walls. Amazing. And I took a photo of the sign of the room we went into. It was the Secretary of War suite. And a lot of this projects that they're doing now, man, is actually anti-trafficking. It's so amazing, man, because this administration, you know, whether you like them, hate them, whatever, they're really about what's right for the country. And that's one thing that really impressed me when I was there, because they were just pressing forward, just doing what they thought was right, regardless of what the election may bring, as if they're going to be there for another 4 years, be there for another 12 years. I mean, the Department of Defense rep that was sitting at the head of the table was really cool. He was at the head, I was at the foot, and there was only 2 other people around the table from our entourage, and then there was like another 20 people that were in the room just kind of sitting around the perimeter, from CIA, NSA, FBI, Pentagon, Department of Defense. It was just an amazing experience, man. And I remember there was a dude, too, that was kind of like in the corner that was acting a little shifty. And that's why I was brought in, to kind of slap those who were getting out of line, so to speak, right? And I'm looking at this guy, because a big thing that I work in, man, from cybersecurity is insider threats. And I think we might have talked a little bit about this before, too. There's different types of threat actors. So they're very much anti-CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. And there's this big misnomer, too. I want to say this because everything's anti-China, right? In the media, you know, on the Republican side, whatever. But the Chinese country, man, the country itself, the people are actually pretty awesome. And there's 1 billion of them that exist in that country. The CCP only accounts for like 73 million. I know it's still 73 million people, but that's like 6 to 7% of the entire population is actually bought into the nonsense of communism. The majority of the people are actually really, really good people, just good-hearted, like you and I, like a lot of people that we know. I would say there were some people even in this room that were not so much for this whole thing, because they're thinking, what are the political implications? Like the dude that was a little shifty that was there, right? And he starts talking up about all the things the steps that we have to go through and everything we have to get approved, and how Congress likes to do things nowadays to get these projects going through. And like, we can't wait for this, man. And I'm sitting at the foot of this table, and he's going off on his tangent. And I said, you know what? I'm just a dude that, you know, spoke at NASDAQ, spoke at Harvard. Department of Homeland Security says there's about 18% of us in cybersecurity that actually know what's going on, and that's why I'm in the room. Whole place busts out in laughter, right? But then right after that, they just go, oh, because they know it's true. Even in that, man. And there's CIOs from the NSA that are in there, and they're saying all this technical mumbo jumbo. I'm like, guys, it's the people. You always have to look at the people, like this dude over there. No, I didn't call him out, but that would have been fun, right? Yeah. I would have said like this dude, right?
but what I heard, you might have exposed a spy.
Yeah, I was brought there just to give advice and read the people that were there, to the founders of this AI company. So afterwards, I'm like, listen, this is a dude that you want to bypass if you can, because his whole agenda was about slowing things down. When the other 29 out of 30 people in the room were all like, let's push this thing forward. Let's get this done. We have kids to save. We have a country to protect. And this dude was like, well, funding and Congress. And, you know, then we have to go through these levels and layers at the Pentagon. You know, it's like, what's his motivation? That's the question. What's his motivation in the statements that he's making? And when it comes to threat actors, that's what you always want to look at. You know, what's the motivation? Maybe somebody's working for you, right?
Oh, I'm sure I've got some threat actors here.
What's their motivation? Do they have divorces that they owe money on, you know, back taxes, whatever it is? What's their motivation? That's the question you always ask. But then bringing this back to the film too, man, what's the motivation of some of the government officials that have definitively overreached?
For sure. Like, dude, I want to break some of that down.
Yeah.
Like, small businesses not being allowed to open, but the big ones are. I don't get that. Why are you okay at Home Depot, but you're not okay at the little mom and pop shop?
You got it. That's the questions that got to be asked, man. It makes no sense. Well, the arrows on the floor. Do you like the arrows on the floor?
Dude, I don't pay attention. You know,
I know, right? Exactly.
I just don't go. Like, I send my people. Like, I don't wear masks. I'm not wearing a mask.
Yep.
They don't work. If they worked, I'd wear one.
Yeah.
They're proven not to work. There's nobody thinking maybe they do. No, they don't. They don't work. But yet they want us to wear them. And
they do.
And what pisses me off is, like, I'll walk into a restaurant right over here.
Yeah.
And from the door to him is all you're walking. There's people lined up over here and tables eating already. No masks, but you better have a mask on. If you don't have a mask on, they won't seat you where you can take your mask off.
Yeah.
The gym, I go into the gym, you got to have a mask on. Everybody doesn't have a mask on, right? All around me. But I have to have one walking in the door. It's like, dude, are you guys this stupid?
Right on.
I don't understand. What are they doing it for? Who's to gain from this?
I see a sort of a metaphor with it. This is just personal belief, right? I see a metaphor in this. I had someone on my podcast the other day who's from Switzerland. An amazing, brilliant, beautiful woman who started an artificial intelligence company. I'm like, how's the scenario over there with COVID? And she's like, our country's doing pretty good. I'm like, I know. I see that in the news. And she goes, yeah, nobody wears masks. No, nothing. I'm like, wait, time out. Nobody in your country is wearing masks. But yet you've got some of the lowest positivity rates. You've got some of the lowest deaths. How did you guys do it? Like, well, we're just kind of smart. We wash our hands. It's as simple as that. It goes back to that. It's just being smart and being normal to the point to where you're like, I just need to have good hygiene. I was in the airport the other day, right? And it's funny because this term's going to get me in trouble, but it's funny to me. I walk in and there's dudes, like always, right, that just whip it out, pee, no mask on, and then just walk right back out the door. Don't wash their hands, right? It's like COVID dick. That's
I wash my hands before I touch it.
Before you touch, good man. Exactly. But it was crazy because I'm like looking at them, and it's like, is that really why we have this whole mandate with masks? Is because of the people that just aren't there upstairs, because people that will just never do the right thing no matter what.
Well, dude, homeless doesn't have to wear masks.
No, they don't. Oh, yeah. My God, man. I was in San Francisco, right when this started, filming the movie. And first, it was crazy, right? Because I was in Union Square. And you see Saks Fifth Avenue, Tiffany's, they're all boarded up. It was like zombie apocalypse town. No cars anywhere. No people walking.
Smells like piss.
Dude, it does, yeah.
I know. I was down in San Francisco. I'm like, dude, who's running this city?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what a decline it's taken.
Mind-blowing.
Dude, San Francisco was a cool city.
It was a really cool city. It was beautiful,
and
man.
And now it smells like pee.
Yeah.
At least where I was.
Yep. It's a little better now because there's nobody out in the streets, right? But I'm driving in the Suburban, the black car from the airport, and I see two homeless people, right? And they've got it was picture perfect textbook, shopping cart, everything that everyone tells you a homeless person should look like was right there. And I noticed it's like they don't have masks on.
Yeah.
And then I see...
They're not required.
Right on. They are not required. And I see the stats on this, which is mind-blowing, that all of the hospitalizations, man, they broke it down. This was a few months ago. 66% of hospitalizations come from people that were under stay-at-home orders. Even more than nursing homes. 66% are just regular people that came under these stay-at-home orders. And the homeless population, hospitalizations, 2%. And, they might say, well, then we're spread out, all these other people that are out there. There's all these other reasons for it. Well, does that really matter? Because these two people that I saw, they were just as close to each other as a man and his wife, right? As two buddies just hanging out on the side of the street, on the curb, pushing their shopping carts. I felt for them. It's like, awesome. You know how many jobs are lost right now? Maybe you can go out and get a job now too. That'd be awesome. Let's create some new jobs and get these people off the street. Then I find out, oh my gosh, because I'm interviewing Alan Zhang, Chinese dude, right? He broadcasts shortwave radio into China, has 93 million listeners in China.
Damn.
It's insane.
Tell him to say my name.
Yeah, you got it. I'll be on a show. I'll say your name for you too. Is that cool? Yeah. So I'm interviewing him and he's saying, you know how much money we put into the homeless population as far as providing health care for them and providing other services and whatever else? He goes, $50 million a year was the bill that was just passed in San Francisco to help the homeless. And I'm thinking, how many freaking jobs is that? How many annual salaries is that to where they can actually go to work and be part of society? It's mind-blowing to me, man. But yet of course, they don't have to wear masks. But this situation is out of control because the focus that I see, and I'm just asking questions, man. in this film. That's it. The focus that I see is, what is the real motivation behind this for the masks? Is it symbolic because we're trying to silence society and things are moving a little bit more towards us? We? Yeah.
You got a turd in your pocket?
Yeah. What do I have in my pocket? You want to see what I have in my pocket?
But who's we? You said, are we trying to, you mean the government?
The government, you got it.
But I don't get it. Like, the government's Trump, the government's Biden, the government's the government. Who's who? Are they all together? I've heard, a lot
You've heard stories?
Well, yeah, I've heard a lot of stories where, is there somebody, hey, don't tell them anything. They're filming. Hey, they're filming.
They got excited.
No, they're a karate class.
Oh, are they?
Or karate VT something.
My son just got his purple belt in Taekwondo the other day.
It won't pick up. It won't pick up here. We're good. So I've heard a lot of right wing shit, and the right wing shit says the government is they're not really against each other like they act. They're all friends, and it's them against us.
Yeah.
Is there any truth to that? Then you start to realize, well, what about the global elitist?
Yeah.
Like the Bezos and the Zuckerberg and the Bilderberg meetings and the Rothschilds and the Bezos.
Yeah.
That's more believable to me because they're all the super, super, super elite wealth. I mean, dude, think about it. They've got enough money to where they could tell a governor, do what we tell you to do. We'll give you $50 million cash.
Oh yeah,
cash.
Yeah,
under the table. No one will ever know. Your term's almost up, bro. You want $50 million or not?
Yeah.
So like, money talks, and if you look at the COVID scamdemic, if you ask me,
yep,
Amazon's doing just fine.
Oh,
so is Facebook.
Yeah, they are.
So is Zoom. All the tech companies, boom, shot through the roof. Shopping, everybody shops online pretty much now.
Yeah.
Amazon, what, doubled? Like, dude, maybe these guys are all in a meeting.
Was it 13 billion in one day Bezos added?
Yeah, but like since it all began, dude, it's like damn near doubled. Yeah. It's crazy. And you start thinking, well, that couldn't be. Well, why couldn't it be? That'd be like us getting in a room saying, hey, nothing affects them.
Yeah.
Lockdowns, small businesses closing, none of that shit affects them. Think about it. What's going to happen if everybody shuts down? Well, shit, everyone will get on Facebook.
Oh, I know.
Everyone will get on Instagram. Everyone will buy from Amazon. It's crazy. I think there's an agenda behind it.
Oh, for sure there is, man.
So in your movie, in the documentary, you ran around looking. What'd you find? Any proof of anything? Any oh my God.
Yeah, there's a lot that's out there. And it's some of my favorite points, man, were from Paul Skousen. And he lives in Utah now. He was with the CIA. This was during the 80s. And then was a political strategy advisor to Reagan in the Situation Room in the White House. And he's also the dude that covered up the Iran-Contra affair for Bush, Daddy Bush. I mean, just amazing insight, man. But when he was talking about what he sees now, it's a lot of what he was fighting against from Russian communism back in the 80s. And when there's control, then there's power. When there's power, then there's control. That's what most people are looking towards. At least when I say most people, those who are pushing that agenda in whatever government position that they're in. And you even look at, like I'm from Chicago, right? Lori Lightfoot, you see the memes out there, the psycho Lori memes are hilarious because she's just crazy. But
is she the mayor?
She's the mayor, yeah.
A black lady that looks like everybody
looks like a Simpsons character.
Yeah, it's like another thing. That's another thing, dude. It's almost like everything's made up. Look at Pelosi. Yeah. It almost looks like her teeth fall out when she's talking, and her eyebrows are ridiculous, and it's like she doesn't. And then Biden can't form a fucking sentence, and Fauci's like a fucking evil crook. Like, what the hell is going on?
I know. You look at the average age of the politicians that are in the highest levels of government too, and it's well, don't they have a more chance of dying now than any like you and me? Why aren't we in there?
But who's they is what I want to know. Like in other words, I see that there's an agenda of some kind, but then I think to myself, well, I thought,
who's the they?
Well, I thought like Trump and his people, like you said, the administrations, they're just looking to kick ass.
You got it.
That's the government.
Yeah.
So who's the they? The Democrats? Because again, all Democrats can't be bad.
No, I don't think they are, man. And not all of them. And back to JFK days, right? JFK was one of the biggest advocates for human rights.
Yeah, but CIA took him out.
I know they did. Yeah.
Or we suspect.
We suspect. Yeah.
But again, I mean, those are the they to me.
Yeah.
Like, who are the high level people that are really pulling the strings?
Yeah. This was interesting to me, right? Because when I was in this room last week, I see a lot of hiring within from the White House. So even in my field, in cybersecurity, I see a lot of hiring within in the NSA, the CIA.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So they might go in as like a lower level analyst position, but I started comparing this, right, to our education system, right? And look at who are the superintendents of school districts, right? They were teachers at one point who continued on and just rose up the chain, and their degree, their education is an education. But then they get up to this point to where they have to manage hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's something they've never done before in their life. Even at a smaller level, any sort of P&L or whatever it is, like you and I look at every single day, or they've never had any formal business education, and now all of a sudden they're in this role to where that's what they do. They're not teaching anymore. They're running a business. Let's call it the education business. From cybersecurity, that's even what I see in the government. That's what I see even in that 82% that don't know what's going on, is they get out of school and they know what they know right now, but then they just kind of coast through different things. And I saw something else interesting too when I was there. Everyone's talking about, we had a dude from Space Force in the room. Oh, well, that's pretty fun, huh? The new government space agency. But all he could talk about was getting out of Space Force and like sliding into the Pentagon someplace. And then he went through like this past 10 years of his government career. That's just a crazy term to begin with, in my opinion. And saying, yeah, I was here, then I went there, then I went here, then I went there. All these different agencies just trying to level up. So just like any other corporation that exists, they're just trying to improve and get that cost of living increase or that next pay raise, that higher level management position, whatever it is. And then when the dude in the room who's a CIO for one of the intelligence agencies starts asking questions, and I'm like, you know what, that doesn't even make sense, man, because then I'm like, what you're talking about is all the technical stuff, but you're missing the human side of it. That's what we're talking about. Because dark web, all that other stuff, that's great. And then we come to talking about kids, there's still a place the transaction has to take place, and there's a place that the physical delivery of goods has to take place. The transaction, we can solve that with tech, right? But what we can't solve with tech, for the most part, is when that kid gets delivered, when those drugs get delivered, when that nuclear weapon coming in from overseas gets delivered at some port somewhere that we don't know about, that a dog can't sniff. It's always the people.
Don't you think you could be in danger coming out with this movie?
Yeah, I've thought about that. My wife was like, so when are we getting our security detail anyways?
Well, yeah, because I mean, theoretically, like, you've heard of Chester Bennington?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chester Bennington. Is that who it was?
I think so.
He's a singer from Linkin Park.
Yeah.
They were doing a movie called Silent Children about, child trafficking. Boom, both of them accidentally died. Accidentally committed suicide, apparently. And the one, Chester Bennington, looks spitting image Podesta.
Really?
You've never heard that or seen that?
No.
Dude,
no.
After this, I'll show you. Have you ever watched those Q videos?
No, I haven't watched the Q videos.
Dude.
She has, yeah. She was telling me about them the other day.
Dude, if you watch the Q videos from start to finish, it's a little far-fetched, some of it. But, dude, it's just so compelling.
Yeah.
Like George Soros. People don't understand this George Soros guy funded those migrations to the border.
Yeah.
He funds the Black Lives Matter and the Antifa people, so they will go riot and break into buildings and cause chaos and mayhem. Like, those are being funded by rich people.
Oh, they are.
This is what I'm saying. Like, that's a fact. That's not conspiracy.
Right on. That hate the United States too.
Yeah, they want us to fall.
Yeah, you got it.
And what better way than internally?
Yeah.
So they divide us against ourselves. Now everybody's against everybody. Well, that's what they say. I don't agree with it. Like, when I watch the news, they're saying everybody's rioting. Yeah. Nobody's rioting. A few people are rioting. People are like, dude, you blind? You don't see all the rioting? Dude, there's more not rioting than rioting.
Right on.
Right or wrong?
Right on.
There's just like, but when you start stripping away like what's really going on, there's just an agenda of some kind. I just can't figure out whose and what. Now, again, maybe it's to protect all these high-level, ruling elite, royal, like top-notch, big people, like biggest of the big.
Yeah.
Maybe they've been humping kids for years. this adrenochrome.
Like Epstein.
And Satan.
Yeah.
Well, again, I mean, dude, you already know that there's pervs out there that like
Exactly.
to fucking hump little girls and
Yep.
little
Yep.
kids. I mean, at the end of the day, that's happening. There's no conspiracy. The question is how sick are you? You want to hump a 3-year-old? Like, dude, you got to be a sick son of a bitch. Well, maybe these freaking high-level people are doing some sick shit. And now Epstein and all these people have video and proof, which is why they always die. And that's what's about ready to crash the whole game.
Yeah.
Because I heard there's 150,000 sealed indictments. Never been that many before. And you can look them up. They're there.
Right on.
So who's going to jail? Who's involved? Who's not involved? And did you run into any of that?
A little bit, yeah. And, I'm not going to give away too much of it. But no, some things that really blew my mind, right? There was a patent filed by the CDC in 2003. This is public documentation. You can look this up. You can Google this. The CDC filed a patent for coronavirus in 2003. That's when SARS came about, across the seas. But it wasn't for the virus itself. It was actually for the protein structure in the virus. Now, nobody can patent, first off, something that exists naturally in nature. That's just against United States law. Second, a government body cannot do that. So somehow they still were able to file this thing. And then in 2005 at the DARPA conference, the CDC formed a partnership, ready for this, with the Virology Institute of Wuhan in China to develop coronavirus for a biomedical delivery device, both for medications and weaponry. So what happened? Did the thing escape? I don't know. I don't have definitive evidence that way. All I know is that I've talked to people, I've asked a lot of questions, and I've uncovered a lot of these documents from these experts that I've spoken to that have done a lot of the research ahead of time. I just want people, man, to just say why or who, like you're doing, and just start to think for themselves again rather than just blindly accept that our liberties were taken away from us.
Dude, does it amaze you how many sheep there are?
It blows my mind, man.
Me too.
It's fear, though, dude. That's what kills me, because I hate seeing people live in fear.
Yeah, but you can walk into a store without a mask and everybody acts like you're fucking gonna kill them.
You got it. Don't sneeze.
It's like unbelievable. Like, dude, are you really that freaking sheepish that you're going to listen to every word? What if, like, now I hear Fauci said you have to wear goggles.
You saw that? Oh, my God. What are we going to have? Now they're talking gas masks, right? Because you probably have a concealed carry, right?
Well, not legally.
Not legally. I do. I can carry in 37 states or whatever it is, right?
So can I.
Yeah, of course you can. Yep.
Well, I can. I can carry in all 50.
Okay, so I can legally carry in 37 states. But most of these states have interesting laws that are in place to where you can't wear a mask while you're carrying.
That's right.
And now Fauci's coming out and saying, oh, you should wear goggles too. Did you see his phrasing? If you want perfect protection.
Yeah, but it doesn't protect you anyway.
You got it.
Doesn't protect you. It's like wearing a chain link fence to stop flies. It's not going to work.
I saw those too.
It stops the spit. Well, which one? Social distance or mask? Pick one.
Yeah.
See, if things made sense, dude, everybody says like, it's either this side or this side, but if everything made sense, it wouldn't be this big of a deal.
You got it.
Like, hey guys, masks stop the spread of the virus, so wear a mask. Everyone will be like, okay. But it's like, these don't stop the spread of the virus, then why wear the masks?
It's still posted on the WHO's website right now, and whatever you think about the World Health Organization, it's not like it's a bunch of dumb doctors. It's people that actually know something at least.
But they're funded.
I know they're funded. Oh, yeah, they are. It's still in their docs right now on guidance for this stuff. They have it. Listen, I was reading this the other day because it blew my mind. And this was actually in an argument with my sister, which was funny because it's just a funny thing. And right on there, it says that there is no evidence that public communities wearing facial coverings can protect against any respiratory virus, including COVID, including influenza, including viral bronchitis. It's right there that they're saying there is no evidence. But then they go into this list of pros and cons. It's the most, I'll send it to you, man. It's the most hilarious thing. You find humor in stuff. I do anyways. It's weird like this. On the pros, it says, well, then the people can feel better, like they're actually contributing to some kind of slowing the spread or helping other people. And then the cons pretty much say, yeah, but it pretty much doesn't do anything anyways, and it's a false sense of security. This is right from the WHO.
And theoretically could harm your health in other ways.
Absolutely. And that was the position of the CDC, which is in the film too. When this whole thing started, you know, they were concerned about the shortage of masks, first off, but their guidance for decades was, hey, healthy people should never wear masks because it harbors your own bacteria. And then everyone else that says, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to wear it every day to do whatever. They say, too, that you have to wash the frickin' thing every day in order to eliminate the bacteria. How many people are washing their masks? Their cloth masks. It's like wearing the same pair of underwear that you got skid marks on for 27 days straight.
You can only turn them inside out once.
Exactly. Yes.
And then eventually you're in trouble.
Yep.
So as you're cruising around doing this movie,
yeah, man,
you go everywhere. There's cameras following you. Didn't people like say, I'm not talking to you?
No, the interviews were set up originally, but that's a good point, because most that we do, you know, if we go to the beaches in California or we go, there's freedom rallies that exist right now too, right?
Amen.
And yeah, right on. And, you know, I saw a social media post. It's like, you know, no gatherings of under more than 10 people. It's whatever, unless it's protesting. Exactly.
See, I don't get that.
Yep.
You know what they're saying about that? Oh, well, that's a constitutional right. Well,
hello.
You can protest, but you can't go to church. They're literally stopping people from going to church.
Yeah. Or if they can go, they can't sing.
But there's nobody at church hurting police officers and smashing buildings and looting property. They can't go to church, but they can protest.
Yep.
See, this is what I'm saying. There's an agenda.
There is.
I'm wondering I'm hoping it's just political. They just want the whole world to be in chaos. So when election time, they can say, listen, if you pick Trump, okay, this shit's going to continue.
Yep.
Now, that's just political, which means as soon as the election's over, it should go away. Should. It's almost like there's music going on.
I know. Right? That's a great perspective, too, because I know in some of the southern states, you know, you ask the question, and I've asked this question in the movie, too. It's like, when do you think the pandemic's going to be over? And I can't remember who it was, but the dude said, next election, that's when it's going to be over. Come November, the thing's done.
Well, what if Trump wins?
That's what they're saying. That's where they were saying if Trump wins,
it'll be over.
It'll be over.
Why doesn't he stop it now? It would seal his reelection.
I would think it would, yeah.
Like if I were Trump, bro, I'd be using this to my masterful end.
Yeah, man, I think that dude has a keen business mind.
He does.
And I mean, just look at this week, and then I'll get to my real point. But just look at this week. It was mind blowing to me how he's taking a look at the vaccine, right? Because no matter what, I mean, you're in sales, right? A lot of times you just have to sell people what they want rather than what they actually need. You know, and then you can educate them to the point of what they actually need, because some people are locked into the mindset to where they're just going to buy what they want. That's the only thing, whatever. American people, good majority of them want a vaccine. He's like, okay, I'm your elected official. I'm supposed to represent your desires. That's the point of elections, right? Is you put a representative in place that carries your ideals and can see them through. Not somebody who's going to go against your ideals, but somebody who sees you and says, yeah, okay, I got your back. I'm going to make this happen. The vaccine candidates in the United States right now, there's 3 of them that are American-made that are in late-stage trials, meaning stage 3. You know, I think the first phase is like 100 people, something like that. The second is 600 people, and then they go community and do like 30,000 for the third stage. It's the hardest one to do because it's just so many people to try to keep track of. There's 3 right now that are in that stage. And he says, we have started advanced manufacturing of all 3 of these vaccine candidates. So if one wins, let's say they cost $10 billion each to produce 100 million vaccines. If one succeeds and the other 2 fail and we wasted $20 billion, we still have 100 million vaccines ready to go as soon as it says, hey, we're good. That was mind-blowing to me because I'm like, this dude just made a business decision. This is what he would do with some of his real estate properties. This is what he would do with some of his corporations. That's the keen mind of this dude. Sometimes, though, I just wish he wouldn't say what he says on Twitter because he gets himself in trouble. I'll just stop right there because I'm going to get myself in trouble if I keep going, you know?
Yeah, I always say, he's a little embarrassing at times with his rants and the way he responds. But again, at the end of the day, he's a businessman.
That's exactly
my
it.
taxes did decrease.
Yep. Right
So again, the unemployment rate was the lowest of all time.
Yeah.
People don't want Trump based on personality, which is stupid.
I know.
Now again, if it were today the election and there was Biden or Trump, dude, anyone that votes for Biden over Trump is a sheep or something. Like, what are you not seeing? The guy can't frickin' form a complete sentence.
Yep.
It's not editing when he was sitting there going, I got hairy legs and the kids are rubbing down my legs and I like kids on my lap. And it's like, I was thinking, like, did someone make him look stupid with this? But no, I watched it. That's what the dude was saying.
Yeah.
He's 77 years old. I think in a little bit of a mental decline.
Yeah, maybe a bit.
So how is the whole entire Democratic Party, and they're not stupid, thinking that this is their best hope against Trump?
Yeah.
When in reality, the illusion of choice, dude, we don't have a choice, okay? The 85 electorates.
Oh, I know.
The electors.
Yeah, they can defect. They can do whatever they want to do.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Dude, the electors, that's who chooses the president. When you run out and you vote, dipshit, you're not choosing the president. It's amazing how many people think they actually get to choose the president.
And that's been in place for 200 years now, too. 1824, man, is when Congress said we want these electorates.
And if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, just Google the Electoral College and see how it works. Yeah. How it works is there's 585 people with the power to vote for the president, period. That's who decides the president.
They're supposed to vote the way that their territory or their district says that this is who I want. But then there's defectors. There's a lot of defectors.
Of course, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it's not against the law. They can vote.
You got it.
They can vote however they want to vote.
Yeah.
So once they're an elector, that's who chooses the president.
Yeah.
So I believe that the electors are going to do what they did last time. They already know, dude.
They do.
You want to live in a world where we defund the police? You want to live in a world where everybody's going crazy, setting up barricades in cities and starting their own shit? It's like, dude, what happened to this freaking country?
I know. A lot of them are rich, or a lot of them are first responders, I know, that are the electorates because they're supposed to be good people that are these individuals. And you're right, man. I mean, who wants to defund the police? What does that really mean? Do we want to impact that now? What does that really mean?
Dude, I want to fund the police.
Yeah.
Like, I want more of them.
Take that $50 million that's going to the homeless, right, for just nothing. Provide them jobs. Train them up as good cops. Give them a salary instead of giving them, whatever, a soup kitchen or whatever. Have them work for it and have them contribute to society.
Or allow citizens to be deputized.
Yeah, right on.
But if there's bad cops, there's bad cops.
There's always going to be, man.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I don't want them gone.
Yeah.
Like when I call 911, I want more of them. I want them to show up wherever I'm at with their guns and their help. But if you call the police during this future world, does anybody come?
Yeah.
They're saying, no. Defund doesn't mean stop paying or stop them. It means kind of like have these alternates.
Yeah.
So like if you just got raped, they would have rape psychiatrists and shit show up instead of the police. But that might be after the fact, which might be cool. Again, I don't like to talk much only because I don't know what's real. Like, I just watch the news and shit just like everybody else. I don't know who's lying, who's telling the truth. I can only follow my gut. And my gut tells me there's an agenda. My gut tells me to watch Liberty Lockdown.
Right on.
Because I want to, the trailer, folks, if you guys haven't already, push pause and went and looked it up, libertylockdown.com.
That's it.
And it's all about just the government overreach, shutting down small businesses, 5G, all the shit people are talking about.
We're staying away from...
What about 5G?
I'm in tech, man, and I think it's going to be really, really cool stuff.
Well, I had a guy here the other day named Cyrus Pappas. No, what was his name? Cyrus... Shit. Interesting dude.
Yeah.
But he said something that made me raise an eyebrow, which is very rare. He said, well, is 5G for humans or machines?
Oh.
Yeah, because it is not good for humans. I had a doctor here a couple days ago, not one of those conspiracy doctors.
Yeah.
The opposite. He thinks you should wear a mask. He thinks COVID is very real. he created this formula called fuelforclosers.com.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but ultimately it's just this Kevlar for your cells. You won't get sick. He won't make that claim, but that's what he says when we're not on air. you take this shit, you won't get sick. Why? Because he's developed this shit for your immunity.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's not a freaking right-wing doctor. He's a cellular level, 32-year high-level doctor now. He goes to the White House. I mean, he counsels everybody. 30 years ago, everyone said he was a quack, by the way. So when you start listening to people going, oh, this guy's a quack. Dude, 30 years ago, this guy was considered a quack. But everything he said turned out to be correct. Anyway, he said 5G is 100% not good for a human being, period.
Cellularly.
At the cellular level, the electromagnetic level, 5G is going to kill us. No question.
Wow.
But it continues to roll out. Well, Cyrus, he was kind of the kind you would think is a little bit, but at the end of the day, dude, he's big into AI, and he said 5G, you got to question whether it's for humans, which it's bad for. Everybody knows it. Or machines, because it doesn't hurt machines at all. And what's coming? AI. He's big into AI. He says there's AI coming. Nano drones, micro drones.
Yep.
He said, think about like having a drone the size of a hornet with a poison tip on it, and there's thousands of them. What's your gun gonna do?
Oh yeah, nothing. You're done.
You're done. And he, by the way, the CCP was his big. I said, so what do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do, Cyrus? He said, dude, the CCP is our enemy, biggest enemy there is, and the Chinese CCP, that Chinese government has micro drones. They've got freaking AI that'll blow your mind, far smarter than any human being on earth. And this AI, that's what they're building the 5G for. And according to him, these vaccines will have nanotechnology inside that merges literally with your DNA, altering your DNA. You go from human to transhuman, which basically means you're now merged with machine and computer chip. And Elon Musk talks about it. So, like, if that's real, well, shit, no wonder what the 5G is. The 5G is not for humans, and that's why everybody's like, hey, it's killing us. Why are we doing it? Well, because, dude, what if it isn't for us? But that's gets me
crazy.
But that's what gets me going. Like, wouldn't it affect Bill Gates? Wouldn't it affect Jeff Bezos?
You would
wouldn't
think
it
so,
affect Zuckerberg and his children?
Yeah.
Does he have children? I don't know. But see what I'm saying? Like, how are these guys immune to all of this shit?
Well, they don't have to do anything.
The Bilderberg meeting. That's a real meeting.
Yeah, right on.
That's a real meeting. And high-level people get thrown the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't belong here. Well, what are they talking about? What are the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and all these massive families? What are they talking about in those meetings? Well, some of the shit on WikiLeaks says that they're talking about depopulation, meaning, dude, there's too many of us here, and if we don't do something, in the next 10, 20 years, there's going to be way too many.
Like we're deer.
Like we need to thin the herd.
Yeah.
Like they say there should be 500 million people that will live comfortably on this earth. 500 million. Obviously, we're at almost 8 billion, and soon we'll be 10 billion. They're saying, hey, we better do something. Have you ever investigated that shit?
Yeah, I have, man. And the depopulation theory has been around for a little while.
A long while.
Yeah, it has. And the Rothschilds, man, there's a lot that, I mean, they established the Federal Reserve 2 years ago, which we could go on and on about. I mean, I'm talking centuries ago. Because this is crazy, because the Federal Reserve, the average American thinks they think that's a government agency. Yeah. It's not a government agency. It's a freaking private organization that dictates what our interest rates are, that control the flow of money, all this stuff, and Hamilton is one of the ones that helped institute that years ago too. And the 5G stuff, I'm excited from a technical perspective. I mean, you run a tech firm too. It technically, it's some pretty cool stuff. It can do a lot of awesome things.
Technically.
Yeah, exactly. Technically it can. But then that's the question, right? Is it for the machines or is it for the humans?
Have you ever heard that?
No, this is the first time. Dude, I grabbed onto it, though.
Yeah, me too. When you said it, I said, hey, like that, I've never heard of it like that before. Because I'm always wondering why 5G if it's hurting everybody. Well, maybe it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe it's so when the transhuman, where we're basically, we are machines.
Yeah.
And by the way, I mean, if you look at the Bible and a bunch of the Revelation shit, all that's in there too.
It lines up. Yeah, it does.
Dude, it's scary.
It is scary.
So you tip into that in the movie or no?
Not that. No, I'm trying to keep it out of the conspiracy side for the most part. We're dabbling in a little bit of it. But the reason being is because there's so much there. I mean, the documentary is going to be like an hour to an hour and a half long, right? Maybe we do a docu-series after this, if it takes
you'll end up
when it
killed,
takes off.
I bet.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, dude, I had Buttar in here, Dr. Buttar. His shit got deleted. The lady that was saying hydrochloroquine works, she's deleted. Trump got suspended off Twitter, Donald Trump Jr., for saying hydrochloroquine or whatever it's called works. I have doctor friends here that have it stocked up, and they say it does work. They've treated COVID patients. Yeah. The lady was saying, I've treated 350 COVID patients. It works. But yet, do not say that it works.
Right
I shared the story of her saying that it worked. I woke up and had something on my phone that said, you shared something that was false, so we deleted it. Like, dude, why are you deleting doctors talking about their findings, but you're not deleting Bill Gates's fucking opinion on vaccines?
Right on. Dude.
Like, dude, it makes no sense.
Yep.
Like, Bill Gates can give us an opinion on vaccines. He's a fucking computer dude.
He's a turtle computer dude.
So I don't get it. Like, why does Bill Gates's opinion matter?
Yeah.
Because he's got
a billionaire.
money.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's where that's when it all starts to make sense to me. When you when you start following the money. You follow the money, it's like, okay, now it makes sense. Why do they want us to wear masks? Well, number one, you heard Newsom's $1 billion mask deal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, again, where's these masks coming from?
Yep.
Now, if I get paid for all the masks sold here in the United States, well, fuck yeah, I'm voting for masks, bro. Okay? Dude, just wear the fucking mask. Quit arguing.
Yep.
Just wear the mask. It'll stop the spread. No, it won't. Don't worry about what they're saying. Just wear the masks. See, when you follow the money, everything makes sense.
You got it. That's always the case, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, ethics, because I'm a big ethics dude. You know that. We're getting into Bible and everything, too. Ethics is always an economic proposition. People will cross over when money's involved. They always will. It's what dictates a lot of things. Who are the ones that actually stand up for that and say, no matter what, maybe Trump, maybe.
If I ever run for president, that's what I'm going to stand on.
Exactly. You got it. What? Truth, justice, and the American way, right? That's Superman.
I just want power back to the people.
Exactly. The people need that.
Well, we need to educate the people to understand that we, the people, are supposed to be electing representatives, which is our voice. And as soon as it's not our voice,
they're gone.
Get rid of them.
Yeah.
But we can't communicate. They've eliminated the people. We're segregated. We're diverse. We're against each other. They've pitted us against each other.
Yeah.
There's right now, social media. Who owns it? You could say Zuckerberg, that Jack from Twitter. What's his name? Jack Dorsey.
Dorsey, yeah.
Okay. Google, right? Google. Who else?
It's all Microsoft.
A handful of people, dude.
Exactly.
A handful of people own social media. Zuckerberg, big time. One of the big main dudes in social media.
It was fun to see him squirm in front of the Senate when he was there.
But think about it. That's how we communicate as a freaking world.
Yeah.
We communicate on these mediums that they control. So when someone says, hey, Trump did something good, they could go, nope, we're not saying that.
Yep.
Hillary's a witch, she's eating babies. Oh, get rid of that. So it's almost like, if you think about it, if they control the social media, they control the television and the news and the cable networks and Hollywood, we don't have a chance. We hear, because again, how do we communicate as people that are not social media?
Yeah.
Is there a platform?
There's not right now. I'm hoping, man, and I might be an optimist with this, because the movie is about starting to ask those questions that you're talking about right now. And being an optimist, having a foundation in faith that I do, I'm realizing more and more, because you're talking about revelation, right? I'm realizing more and more that there's a lot that's really kind of out of our control. And if there's a way to hope and have faith or look to your source, whatever you want to call it for that, I know that something good is going to happen. I saw it last week when I was in the White House, to where almost everybody that was in that room just really wanted to push forward regardless of COVID, regardless of 5G, regardless of Biden. And this was just true patriots, man. I mean, dudes that served like 2 tours in Afghanistan were sitting at the head of this table, man. And they're like, this is America. This is the country I fought for. This is where I want to see it get back to. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that happens. Those are the stories that you don't hear about on Facebook, on Google. You don't see those things because these are the guys that are making the real difference. And anybody that's out there that's saying, hey, wear a mask, you're going to kill everybody. I was interviewing Lindsey Graham, the salon owner in Portland or Salem, wherever up in Oregon. I was interviewing her, and in the middle of the interview, man, this dude rides past and is screaming murderer at her and holds up a pizza box. It says, you're a murderer. You're not helping anybody. I'm going to kill you. So right in the middle of the movie, we're showing the phone call to the lieutenant there. But there's good people in this country. There were 85 dudes that came with their AR-15s during the riots in Salem, in the capital, to protect the salon.
That's right.
Of Lindsey Graham.
They did it in Boise. The BLM movement was up there getting ready to tear shit up.
Yeah.
And a bunch of armed patriots showed up.
You got it.
And said, not this town, not this time.
Yep.
So that's what I think is going to happen too. I think what's going to happen is we're going to get pushed to a point where the patriots, the militias, basically come out and stop the shit. But that's when I also think is when it's going to get real fucking ugly.
It will.
It's going to get real ugly because, I mean, when was the last Civil War?
1850 something.
There could be another one real easy.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm just taking my family and heading for the mountains. Someone says, oh, you don't want to fight? Fuck no. I'll come down after the fighting's over.
Yep. I hear you.
Well, dude, I mean, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I get you.
What am I going to do? And not only that, like, who do I shoot? Who's the bad guy?
That's a great question, man.
Well, dude, we don't have fucking red and blue uniforms.
Yeah.
It's like fucking you don't know who's who.
Yeah.
It's going to get ugly if that goes down.
It is.
So basically, in my mind, you go homestead and you freaking protect yours. I want to be out in the fucking middle of a mountain where I can see you coming or going. And then just don't come around me, kids. And then when it's all said and done, who won? If it's nasty and it's like, ooh, the good guys lost. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, dude, if you believe in the Bible, well, then light's going to win.
You got it.
The good's going to win. So that's the thing. It's like
there's a lot of ugly before the light comes.
Well,
a lot of ugly.
I know, but if you truly believe in a God or God, well, then you shouldn't be worried anyway.
Yeah,
because everything's as planned, correct?
It is. For the time being, I'm just going to try to keep lifting people up. Call me an optimist, I don't care, but I'm just going to keep lifting people up. And man, seeing what I did last week was just mind-blowing to me because there's a lot of other good people like that. I mean, the 85 people that defended the salon from any kind of damage, there's a lot of good people like that. They are.
And there's many.
Yeah.
Again, they're not out rioting and talking shit.
Right on.
But they'll show up when they need to.
Yeah.
They did it in Utah a couple times. They're out there, dude. Hopefully we're talking to them right now. Hopefully there's people driving around listening right now.
You're in my head.
Yeah, and they're saying, I'm one of them. Because I'm one of them. When I say I'll run off, dude, come on.
I know you're not. Yeah, right on.
Dude, but I mean, obviously I'm going to see what's going on. But my point is there's a lot of good people that'll band together, and that's what's required, if you ask me.
It is. How was this country formed, man? It was a lot of good people that just band together.
Well, what happens if, like in that case where the militia came out and the BLM was backed by the government and the troops and the police and the state patrolmen? Why? Well, because the law said. So then who do you help? Like if I'm a cop, dude, I'm not going to enforce all these stupid rules.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they're doing it.
Some are, some aren't. That's another thing that I found traveling the country for this. There's some that refuse to.
Well, again, those are the good cops.
Yeah, you got it.
There's constitutional rights being trampled on, yes or no?
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's the whole purpose of this, is that what's the extent of the government overreach? And the question in this, too, man, is what's going to happen next? Because COVID will go away at some point. Well, I mean, it's going to be, the virus is around forever. The virus is real. People have it. It's been around for 20-something years now at this point, whatever. 4 of the common colds come from 4 of these coronaviruses that exist. But with everything that's happening, what's going to be the next crisis? Because now I feel that a lot of the American people really kind of gave a little bit of ground by accepting a lot of the things that were thrown down upon them. And that's the sad part, man, because as soon as you allow a little bit of your liberties to be taken away, the next crisis is going to come. And we saw a little bit of that. I mean, we skipped over the murder hornets, right? But then we went to the George Floyd riots. That was the next crisis. And then, you know what? That gets out of the media because it starts to simmer down or whatever. And then now we're back to COVID. We need something else. We need something else to fuel the fire. So what's going to happen next year in 2021? What's going to happen in 2022?
What about tomorrow or the next day?
You got it. Exactly.
You got Ghislaine Maxwell trying to not have to release all that shit. So they postponed it till Monday.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
All right.
Because I'm thinking there's going to be something happen in the next 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Big false flag type shit. Like, hey, look over here.
Oh, I know.
Don't pay attention to all that. Look over here. What do you think it might be?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of the Confederate stuff that's being ripped down right now, but there's always something that's got to take its place, man.
But you see the aliens.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
The Pentagon's now talking about they found vehicles that were not made on this planet.
Yeah.
So now there's aliens all of a sudden.
I know, right? There's always going to be something, but since we gave a little bit of ground, man.
What ground did we give?
Civil liberties. The stuff that this country was founded on.
Like wearing a mask?
Like wearing a mask.
Or being told to.
Being told to. That's exactly it. Or mandates, right? Like you were saying, you can't go to church.
Well, see, this is what I don't understand, though. The governor doesn't have the right to create law. Yeah. Where are these laws all of a sudden? Who's making them?
Oh, I know. That's exactly the points that's made in this movie, man. They're thinking the Department of Health in some states is this. And here's another thing that I learned, which is super interesting. The structure, right? Because everyone thinks that the federal Constitution is gold, right? But then this is from constitutional experts. The 10th Amendment is a super important amendment because it says anything that's not in here, in these documents right here, that power is given to the states, including police powers. So then the states each have their own constitutions. And those constitutions can differ in some ways than the federal Constitution, to where the governor has the power. Because I'm from Illinois, right? And I started looking. It's like, you know what? I got some influence. Let's see what we can do to start an impeachment process for this dude, or a recall for the governor. And I look it up, and the law is stupid. You have to have 10 representatives from the Senate on both sides of the aisle sign a petition to say we want to start this, and then it's something like 30% of the voters,
which means it's not happening.
Exactly.
Well, why do you think that is? Because those amendments were created by them.
Yeah, right on.
Like, dude, it's the fox guarding the hen house.
Yeah.
You can't, dude. It's a swamp.
Yeah.
That's why I always say, you know what? Let's focus on the prize. You know why? You can't. I don't believe an individual can do anything. The only way that we could stop all this, like for example, the governor comes out and says, anybody that opens their business is getting shut down.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody opens their business and nobody listens to the law. Like that's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Where like we all agree, anybody that goes to a trial, we won't convict for keeping your business open.
Yep.
To where it's just, nope, the people don't agree.
That's the same principle as the protests. When there's too many to actually do something about it, that's when real ground is gained.
Yeah, and they don't do anything about it. That's why you can go protest all you want.
That's why, okay, anybody listening who has a business, open it right now. I don't care what state you're in.
Yeah, but the problem is you're by yourself. And then the law shows up. You're paid fines. You go to court. There's no
or go to prison like in California.
Yeah, we don't rally around those people.
Yeah,
that's what we should do is rally around the people that are brave enough to stand up and say, "Pound sand, it's not happening."
Yeah,
like I don't know how to do that though.
I don't either yet. I just want people to ask questions because we're talking about starting a movement, right?
Yeah,
there has to be that process that kicks it off. Maybe the film can help that process.
Well, it will, dude. Because I think that's going to wake people up.
That's the whole point, man. That's it.
And when I say wake people up, I don't mean go clear to the conspiracy right.
Oh no.
You know, like the whole world's out to get us. Although that technically could be true, man.
Yeah.
Because we're minute in the big picture.
Sure.
Like the global elite, Jeff Bezos, Rockefellers. If there's really Satan worshiping and adrenochrome and kids getting trafficked and like, oh, you know the right people. You can have a 12-year-old show up and you can hump them and take out their organs and give them to your dead or your dying uncle. And like, we just discard the body and like the elite, you'll never get in trouble. Like if that's going on, dude, that's some scary shit. But to me, if that's going on, then Q's real. And if Q's real, we're all good anyway. Yeah. Because Q says, don't worry about it.
Right on.
it's all being handled. Trust the plan.
Yep, for sure.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming in.
Dude, if anyone goes to the site too, man, it's really cool because Paul Scouts and I was talking about, he was kind enough to give us one of his books as just a giveaway on this thing because the movie's being released later this month. But you get an ebook about understanding the Constitution. So you can actually gain some education on what's going on and how everything's being violated right now in the government overreach. It's pretty cool. There are good people.
What happens if everybody starts just deleting it?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll spread it some way.
Have you heard of Out of the Shadows?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Delete. No one will talk about it. You don't hear about it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's because the only way we can communicate as a population is freaking social media, and social media doesn't want it shown.
Yep.
Almost, you would think, like, for example, why wouldn't the president of the United States, regardless of who it is, have his own or her own communication channel that is absolutely incorruptible?
Yeah. That started in the 60s or the 50s. You're in tech. You remember T1s?
T1 line, yeah.
Yeah. That was a network specifically for that purpose, just for communication straight from the top.
Yeah, but like if I were Trump, if I was the president right now, every Friday minimum, I would address the nation. And nobody would be able to twist my words.
Yeah,
I would be talking to them every single Friday. You don't want to log in and listen, don't, but I can promise you, you want my opinion, don't listen to the press, don't listen to the bullshit. Every Friday I'll pop in here and I'll tell you what's going on and what's happening. I'll tell you, what you need to do. I'll tell you where to go vote. I'll tell you everything that's going on, and that's the presidential channel. They should have a channel of their own. Would you agree?
I would. I'll throw that up the chain.
But why don't they?
That's a great question.
Yeah, because I don't understand. Sometimes I think, maybe Trump's in on it too. Because why doesn't he just stop the stupidity?
And he's got the money too, but he's not a Rothschild.
It doesn't matter. Why doesn't he stop the stupidity? Stop the stupidity.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, there's governors doing what?" See?
I know.
See, they're listening.
She's pissed. Yeah,
they're listening. Okay, I'll show you. But anyway, listen, folks, go watch Liberty Lockdown at libertylockdown.com. It's going to be on Netflix. What else?
It'll be on Amazon. It'll be on iTunes. It'll be everywhere. Independent release first.
When?
End of the month.
So this month.
Yeah.
Folks, you guys better mark your calendars, start looking for it. Is there anywhere where they can go turn on notifications, shit like that?
Yeah, go to the site right now, and they'll get. Right now, it's email. We're going to do a text in a bit. We're trying to be quick to market with this, man, because there's nobody else doing this right now.
Yeah, but as soon as you may end up freaking deleted.
Yeah,
and then that'll get you'll go deeper.
Yeah,
and dude, I'd be careful too, because people are dead, dude.
I know they are.
Like, there's 56 people around the Clintons throughout their career that have mysteriously died.
Well, good thing we're not talking about them.
But there's kids disappearing. Next thing you know, so-and-so committed suicide. Like, go look at those Q things, and you'll see how many people get suicided.
Yeah.
I'd be careful. But we appreciate your journalistic integrity.
Thanks, brother.
And don't let it corrupt you if all of a sudden people start throwing you millions to say whatever.
Yeah. Because
that's corrupt. What do they say? Is. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
We'll throw it to a foundation or something, man.
Dude, go follow him on Instagram, Mr. Rick Jordan. Go to libertylockdown.com and frickin' get ready to watch this badass documentary about government overreach. And hopefully in the documentary you tell people what they can do or just...
Absolutely. That's the whole point, yeah. Ask the questions, and here's your steps.
Rick Jordan, executive producer. Appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, brother.
Till next time, kids. Share this out. Keep it real.